In this video, I'm going to show you the best way to find and add negative keywords to your Google Ad campaigns. Now, my agency has run Google Ad campaigns for more than 1,000 businesses over the past 9 years, and I can say with a lot of confidence that your negative keyword list is one of the single most important components of any Google Ad search campaign. It can absolutely make or break your results. And a properly constructed negative keyword list nearly always improves the return on ad spend that you get from your Google Ad campaigns, often by a lot. So let's start by quickly explaining what a negative keyword actually is. So negative keyword is a word or a series of words that you give to Google that will prevent your ads from being shown to people that are searching for that, okay? So a classic example might be the word free. Let's say you sell sofas. Do you want your ads on Google to be shown to people that are searching for free sofas? Almost certainly not, right? You want to actually sell your sofas. They're probably looking for a second-hand one that's beat up, that someone's just looking to get rid of. That's not a good person to put your ads in front of. But without the negative keyword of free, your ads are highly likely to be put in front of someone searching for that because they're including the word sofas. And if you're bidding on that sort of term in that area, then there's a good chance like your ad's going to show up. And if your ad does show up to those people and they click on your ad, they're not going to come through and convert, almost certainly, but you've still paid to advertise to them. You still got the click. It's a big waste of money. So your negative keyword list should not be underestimated. It is the single most important thing in terms of making sure you don't waste budget as a Google advertiser. And I think this is particularly important for smaller businesses with smaller budgets. It's like you need a really well-constructed negative keyword list. Otherwise, you could easily lose 30%, 50%, 70% of your budget. Like I've seen this in action, that really can happen because your ads are being shown to all sorts of searches. Those people are just not going to go on to become customers, highly unlikely to do so. And you could have worked that out at the search stage. You didn't need to wait till they click through. You got charged as an advertiser for that, and then they don't convert. You could have prevented that right at the beginning from going, no, I don't want my ads to show to anyone searching for this, anyone searching for things that include these words, right? So really, really important. Now, I'm going to talk more about match types later on, but this is especially important if the keywords that you're targeting within your Google Ad search campaigns, you are using broad match keywords, which is the default. If you're like, I don't know which ones I'm using, then you're using broad match. Or even phrase match, because we know that Google is going to put your ads in front of searches that, yes, include the keywords that you've actually chosen to target, but also a lot of other searches that are sometimes very relevant, sometimes not as relevant as you would like to the actual keyword that you entered. So you can have your ad being put in front of all sorts of different searches, right? So let's say, for example, you are advertising on the keyword sofa in your local city, whatever. If someone searches for free sofa in your local city, your ads are going to appear if you don't have a negative keyword set up and you're using, say, that keyword, particularly if you're using it as a broad match, you're almost certainly going to get it as well. If you're using phrase, and sometimes even if you're using exact as well. So really, really important that you build out a negative keyword list. So how do we go about doing this? So I've got an example here. I'm here in one of our Google Ad accounts, and I've selected a campaign for something that we ran, a kind of a branded campaign. I'll explain a little bit more about that in a minute. And what I've done is I've gone into the insight, I've selected the campaign, I've gone into the insights and reports section over here on the left, and I've selected search terms. And the search terms report is where you're going to see all the searches that caused your ads to appear. Basically, your ads were served to people searching for these things. And it's cut off on this screen, but you can see all sorts of data in here, like not just how many times they were seen, but also how many clicks they got. If you've got conversion tracking set up, then conversions by search terms. So it's a really, really useful report. And this is, in my opinion, the best place to find negative keyword lists to add to your Google Ad search campaigns. And what you want to do is you want to come in here and you want to take a look at the searches that have caused your ads to appear. And you want to find ones that you don't want your ads to appear for, like we discussed. They're a waste of money. I don't want to be advertised to those people. They're not likely to convert. They're not interested in what I have to offer. Or perhaps they're interested in something that's similar, but I'm not the best option for that. I'd rather stick my ads to being more focused. And then you can go ahead and add those as a negative keyword list. There's another technique I'm going to talk about later on in this video, but this is something that I would recommend you do often as a Google advertiser, and we certainly do it with our Google Ad campaign. So just to give you an example, right? So we could go through here and we could see these search terms and things like Heath Media. Okay, that's the name of my agency, absolutely fine. Ben Heath, obviously my name. Lead Guru is what it used to be called. Ben Heath Marketing, Ben Heath Agency, Ben Heath Media Reviews. Like these are all fine for us to have ads running to. Keep going, all sounds good. Ben Heath Google Ads, Ben Heath Lead Generation, fine. Then we get to this one here called Ben Heath Newbury. Now I know, because I've done the research into like these search terms, that Ben Heath Newbury is absolutely nothing to do with me or my business. There is an interiors business in Newbury in the UK, and I'm assuming someone called Ben Heath as well who owns that business. So therefore, someone looking for that is not looking for me or anything to do with me or my agency. They're looking for that interiors business. So that is not a search term that we want our ads to appear for, because if someone goes ahead and clicks, it'll be an accidental click. That's just a waste of money. They're just going to go, oh, this isn't right, click back and try and find the right one, right? So we would have a look at this and we would want to add that as a negative keyword. So you can go ahead and literally select the search term and you can just click add as a negative keyword and then add it to the relevant list, right? Or we could go a step further and just add in the word Newbury as a negative keyword. Again, I'm going to talk about match types when it comes to negative keywords later on in the video, but we could just grab Newbury and add that as a negative keyword. Then we go on down through the list, omnipresent, that's fine, pixel, retargeting, scaling, Vegas. Okay, similar to the previous version where we had Ben Heath Newbury being another Ben Heath, completely not related to me in any way, it's interiors business. The same is true with Ben Heath Vegas. So there is a professional poker player called Ben Heath, again, not me, nothing to do with me or my business. And if someone is searching for Ben Heath Vegas, they're almost certainly searching for that poker player. Another search term that I do not want our ads to appear for, that's just a waste of money. If someone finds that, they click on it, they're likely to click back because they go, oh, this isn't the right place, this isn't what I was looking for. And that's just, yeah, like I said, a waste of budget. So we could go ahead and select this as a negative keyword, or we could just go ahead and add in Vegas. And if you do some research around that, you could then realize, okay, let's also add in the negative keyword of poker, of a few different things that are related to that are likely to be searched for. So this is something that we will do often. One of the things you will often find is that when you first launch a Google Ads campaign, you get a higher proportion of your searches being, in effect, wrong searches you don't want your ads to show up for. But then the more you go in, you find them, you add those negative keyword lists and you sort of rinse and repeat, the more your ads will be served to searches that are actually relevant to the products and services that you offer. And there aren't these mistaken searches and incorrect searches that are being served your ads and wasting your budget. So this is something that you want to keep checking regularly, but it does improve over time. One thing I should also mention about this is that this was a branded campaign, as in we're bidding on my name, my agency's name, things like that, right? And that's sometimes good to do, particularly for a business in our situation where I have a significant personal brand. There are people searching for these words every day. So we just want to make sure that they're going to come through to the right place. If they're trying to look for me or my agency, we want to make sure they end up in the right place. What that does mean, however, though, is that when we look at our search terms report, the vast majority of the searches that caused our ads to appear are correct. They're accurate because it's a branded campaign. It's pretty specific. The accuracy on, yes, I do want my ads to be shown for that search is very good. If you've never taken a look at your search terms report before and you've got a regular campaign, selling a product, selling a service, and you don't have an extensive negative keyword list, and particularly if you're using broad match keywords, which I imagine the majority of people watching this video will tick all those boxes, just brace yourself when you come into the search terms report.
All right, now everybody, get in crash position.
Unfortunately, there are likely to be lots and lots of searches that have caused your ads to appear that you're not happy about. Probably a lot of them have also generated clicks, and that's been a waste of budget. So just sort of brace yourself. There's nothing you can do to change that. This is a report on what's already happened, on what's already gone. Now, the good news is that if you do go in and see that, after that initial shock of really, have I spent money on putting ads in front of those searches? That is not what I want at all. The good news is that if you're assessing your return on ad spend number or your cost per conversion data with all those bad searches in there, once you build out that negative keyword list and get rid of all those bad searches, that return on ad spend, that cost per lead or cost per conversion number is likely to improve significantly. So going forward, if you do find that, the potential upside is big, but just brace yourself because in here we've just got a couple of examples. We've also built out a negative keyword list for this because we know what we're doing, right? But if, like I said, you've got broad match keywords, you don't have much of a negative keyword list, and you haven't been in search terms report before, just be aware that it might be a little bit painful. There are also some negative keyword options that just about every advertiser might want to think at least about including. I've already given you an example of free. That's a classic one that might want to be added as a negative keyword to just about every Google Ads search campaign. Unless, of course, you do offer something free. Maybe that's how your sales funnels work, right? You're advertising something free in the beginning and then looking to ascend people to paid offers, in which case, great, don't add free as a negative keyword. But other ones might be cheap, cheapest, things like that, used, second-hand, Again, maybe you specialize in used and secondhand products, in which case don't do this, but a lot of businesses won't do that, right? Other one might be brand names. So if someone's searching for, you've got big competitors in your space and they're searching for the brand name version of their product, do you want to be advertising to people searching for that? Probably not. You're highly unlikely to be able to get that conversion because they're probably just looking for that brand name. The sort of caveat to that would be if you have a product that is demonstrably better than one of those brand names and you can explain that quickly and easily in your ad and then on your landing page, maybe you can sort of siphon away some people that were looking for that washing machine, but you can grab some of that business's customers effectively and bring them over to you because you've got something superior. Very difficult to do. So brand names might be one that you want to exclude. The other one would have a think about things that are specific to your industry. And a lot of people, they either don't build out a negative keyword list or they do and then they think, I just want to get rid of all the bad words like free and cheap and things like that. But actually you can be cleverer than that. So you could, for example, add in as negative keywords things that are closely related to what you offer, but aren't what you offer. Because you're thinking, actually, if someone's looking for that, then we're not right for them. They're better off going to someone else. And we don't want to be paying to advertise to those people. So a classic example might be if you sell accountancy services, you're an accountancy practice, but you don't do bookkeeping. Well, you might want to add in bookkeeping as a negative keyword list, because if someone is searching for accountancy and bookkeeping or that sort of thing, maybe you're not the right option for them, right? Maybe they'd be better off going somewhere else and you don't want to be paying to advertise to that person, okay? So really have a think about it, add in the negative keywords, check your search terms report significantly. And there's one other big technique that we use all the time to build out a negative keyword list that I'll get to in a second. Before I do that, I just want to quickly let you know about our done-for-you Google Ads services. So if you would like my agency, we can create, manage, optimize your Google Ad campaigns for you. We can take that workload off your hands. We can worry about your negative keyword list and everything else within your Google Ad campaigns. We'll almost certainly get you significantly better results because we do this all day, every day. We spent millions on the platform, advertised for 1,000+ businesses over the past 9 years. If that sounds interesting, there is a link in the video description below. You can click on that, come through to a page on our website and book in a free, no obligation call with one of my team members. So if that sounds interesting, go ahead and do that and hopefully we get a chance to work together. Okay, so what's this other technique that we use when it comes to building out a negative keyword list as opposed to just being reactive from the search terms report? So when you're using the Google Keyword Planner to find your keywords that you want to target in the first place, and I'll include a link in the video description below to a video that shows you exactly how I would recommend you do that. You want to very clearly look at what comes up there, not just from that's a good keyword to target, but also that's actually a keyword I really don't want to target. Google clearly thinks these things are related because I've gone into Google Keyword Planner, I've entered in some of the keywords I'd like to target, and Google has recommended these, they've suggested these options. That probably means that if I go ahead and target these keywords, the Google's also going to put my ads in front of people searching for these keywords I wouldn't like, and therefore you can go ahead and grab those and add those as negative keywords, right? So I just gave an example of what that might look like with the accounting services business that doesn't offer bookkeeping. I bet you when you go into Google Keyword Planner and you start searching for accountancy services, you're going to see suggestions from Google with a lot of things that are relevant to that, but also some that are bookkeeping related, and you could be like, okay, great. We can identify that. We can go ahead and remove those as negative keywords. You can also go one stage further and think about it in terms of, this is particularly true in high volume spaces where there's a lot of search volume, so you can afford to be more picky with the keywords that you target. So there might be examples where you do offer what it is someone's searching for, but if they're searching for that, they're not your ideal customer. You'd rather they were searching for something else, okay? So let me give you an example. So let's say you're a business that builds and installs new kitchens, but you also repair existing kitchens, okay? I imagine a business like that, the customers that want a completely new kitchen, a complete new design, build, installation, are probably worth a lot more. So you could just decide to not bid on the repair kitchen keywords and even add the word repair or restore or these sorts of things as negative keywords. Be like, we do actually do that, but I don't want to spend my ad budget on those people because the people that have whole new kitchens are worth so much more to my business. So basically the way to do this sort of tactically is when you're going through the Google Keyword Planner, like I said, check out that other video if you want to know how to do that, how to find keywords. Go through all the options, and I show you how to do that in the video. Like go through everything. It does take time. All the options that get served to you as suggestions when you enter in sort of the main things that you're going to be looking to target. And anything that doesn't look right, get that in as a negative keyword, or get the part of it in as a negative keyword that is the problem. Now, what that means, if you go through that and you go through, potentially hundreds of different suggestions and you add in a whole bunch of negative keywords, is that often you end up with a much longer negative keyword list than you do an actual keyword list that you're going to target. And that is not a problem at all. In fact, that's often a situation I would like to see, because I would rather you went too restrictive, at least initially, with your negative keywords and prevented a lot of searches from showing up, as opposed to the other way around, because you can always open things back up. But if you go too broad, too open, not enough negative keywords, you're just going to waste a whole lot of budget, most likely. So you can always be too tight and go, okay, we're not quite getting enough clicks, enough ad impressions. Let's ditch some of these negative keywords and open up. That would be my favorite approach. Now, we also need to talk about negative keyword match types, because just like with regular keywords, there are match types. You've got broad, phrase, exact, and depending on the match type you use, will absolutely impact which searches your ads get served to. Well, the same works in reverse with negative keywords. If, for example, as I demonstrated, you go ahead and add in a negative keyword from your search terms report, by default, that's going to be put in as exact match. That may or may not be the right option depending on what it is you're looking to do with your business, how much search volume there is, but also whether or not that keyword is something you want to block on an exact basis or you want to block it more broadly. So to help with that, I strongly recommend you check out this video. And that video is all about keyword match types, both regular keywords and negative keywords, because you really need to get this right when you're building out your negative keyword list, just like when you're building out your regular keyword list. You don't want to be too restrictive, you don't want to be too open, you want to get it just right. So go ahead and check this out.